Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. Today is June 15th, 2018. We have a new Q post to talk about. It's Q post 1500. And it is a picture of a Google badge. I'm guessing it's like an ID badge. And it says guess. So that's it. That's the whole thing. There's really nothing to look at. A printed badge. Cryptic stuff. So I guess that just means that they have an insider, or that they're coming to get them next, or maybe it's both. Alright, moving on. I think I covered most of this Rod Rosenstein stuff. I'll come back to this and I'll spend a little bit more time on this next time. But here's the post in case you wanted to take a look at it. You can pause it. Okay. So this is happening. And what this means is that the EU is losing. And I heard a rumor. I haven't confirmed it. It's just a rumor. It's something I saw in passing somewhere that said that Steve Bannon was over in Europe helping these countries somehow. And I don't know what he would be doing. Okay, I like Steve Bannon. I think that him leaving the White House, he was one of the good guys. But I could be wrong, man. I don't know. You know, it's just that's my opinion. Is that Steve Bannon is one of the good guys. And he has said some pro-Zionist stuff in the past, but I think it's kind of because he knew he had to play the game. Do you know what it's like? You know how quick you get smashed and crushed? As soon as you start mentioning it, it's for a reason, man. It's because that's where the truth's at. That's where you'll find it all. So, Steve Bannon played the game. And I think we're past that now. I don't think we have to play the game anymore. We already won. You know, we have Trump in the White House. And now this is happening over in Europe. So if it's true that Steve Bannon is over there, then this is big news. It's big news either way, really. So it's June 15th, happening today. It says France and Italy push for migrant processing centers in Africa. You get that? That's a big deal. So what Italy said was, we're about to deport 500,000 Africans off the continent. They didn't make it in yet. They're all stuck in Italy, right? Lounging about, causing trouble, wreaking havoc. So Italy elected a populist government, and now this idiot who's been trying to win the handshake game with Trump is down there to make sure that, you know, they minimize the damage. So that's Macron, and he's talking to Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte to the Élysée Palace in Paris ahead of talks on Friday. So, whatever. So I'm going to spend some time talking about this real quick, and then we'll move on. This guy's a populist. So they elected a Donald Trump, right? And it was harder over there because you have to elect two parties. There was like 5 parties that ran for president. So, you know, people complain about us and our two-party system. That's the alternative, you know? So it might have been even harder to win. Who's to say it's not controlled? You know, who's to say it's not a big show? Could be, you know, could be not. That's kind of where I've gotten to now. I don't really know a lot of stuff. I just know what I see, and then sometimes I take a guess. Okay, so guess one. If it's legit, right? Let's just say it's legit. This president of Italy, his job is to kick out 500,000 African migrants, right? Deport them back to Africa, back to their home countries, back to their families, you know, their wives and kids, their moms and dads, brothers and sisters. That's where they live. They have a country, they have citizenship. They need to go back to their country. You get it? Like, that's what they're trying to do. And there's 500,000 of them, you know, so it's doable. This guy wants to make sure that doesn't happen. So what he's going to say is, hey, let's just stem the flow, because I know that's the biggest problem. So let's just minimize the first problem, then we don't have a problem here. And then the EU, represented by this guy, doesn't have to smash your country with economic sanctions and EU BS. EU Bill Smith. You know what I'm saying? So he's down there to minimize the damage. Now, it's even worse. Okay, here's where it's actually kind of amazing, because the solution they offered is actually will mess up Italy even worse. It'll mess up everybody even worse. You know what listen to what they're talking about. They're talking about trying to set up asylum processing centers in Africa. The EU's going to do this. They are going to go set up processing centers in Africa. That's the backup plan. They're going to go straight to the source. They don't even have to sneak in after that. You just show up in Africa, and then bam, you're in Europe. Switzerland, you don't have enough Africans in Switzerland yet? Bam, problem solved. More Africans, straight from the source. Straight from the spigot. By the buckets full. You know, here, splash. Here, take some Africans. What? What? They're not all educated? Like, what? No? Oh, what? No, you don't have jobs for them? What? Well, here, we'll figure something out. Increase the taxes. You know, we're saving the world here, people. We're saving the world. Can't get over this stuff, man. How do they get away with it? I just don't get it. How do they get away with this stuff? That's what they're doing. How can they take something? It's genius. He's like, hey, let me offer you a solution that's actually... Oh, you don't like the 500,000 African invaders who we've been importing over the Mediterranean Sea with George Soros's non-governmental organizations? You don't like that? What? Here, okay, you know what? You're right. Let's not do that to you anymore. Let's spread out. Let's spread them out. We'll just fly them in now. We understand. Your country's fucked anyway. Totally screwed. You get that, right? You think you're going to get rid of 500,000 migrants? They're not going anywhere, bub. That's what this guy's trying to say. That's what he's up to. The world is a dark place, man. Can you imagine this? So this is why the EU is terrible for all these people. I showed you a map. I showed you in the last video what the map's like. You know, maybe I should do that again, but that's insane. They do it in Libya too. You get that, right? That's where they'd set up these migrant processing centers. Processing centers for what? Just build them cities and roads. Like, if you're going to spend the money building the processing centers, flying everybody around, jet fuel, cost of planes, shipping them around Europe, resettling them, buying them housing in expensive first world, well-developed European nations. Why wouldn't you just build them their own stuff? That doesn't make any sense to me. Just build them their own stuff. Take the same money and go build it. Why are you trying to invent a problem? Over and over. Over and over. There's no getting around it either. They'll just find a way, you know? See that? He's like, hey, look, I'm touching you. See what I can do to you? See, look, you can't do anything either. Look, you can't do anything. You just, here, look, I'm touching you right there. See, check it out. He's been studying this whole Trump smashing him up for a long time. I think it got to him. I think he's been taking courses in this stuff now. Amazing. I like this guy. Let's give him a chance, okay? Prayers for Italy. Moving on. Okay, this is fun. So Peter Strzok denied throwing a cocktail party for a judge on a surveillance court. Now, the interesting thing about this is it is Judge Rudolph Contreras, right? And this guy was recused from the Mike Flynn case because he was on the FISA court. Now, the interesting thing about this is I did a video about it 6 months ago. So I had already forgotten about a lot of this stuff. So that was interesting. I got to go back and rewatch it. You can watch it. I think it was my second video. It's interesting. Here, I'll leave a link below, actually. I'll put it in a pinned tweet. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so they're going to try to save net neutrality somehow. I can just feel it. And I want an Internet Bill of Rights. That's what I want instead. Now, AT&T has already promised, made a public commitment to not slowing down anyone's bandwidth. And I think this is important. Okay, I don't want slow Netflix, but we're talking about building 5G at this point. Do you really need faster internet? You know, my stuff is fine. You couldn't. I'm downloading it like 140 meg a second. There's just no possible way to use what I have. You know, and you could make the case, oh, it's because there's rules, but I don't think so. They already had net neutrality, so people are already using whatever they want. It's like a drop in the bucket. I can't use it all. You get that? And half of us have unlimited stuff now, and some of it's mobile. So who cares? I don't get it. But this is going on. There was a big merger, right? But they say that's going to allow telecom companies like AT&T to prioritize their own content. In the past, AT&T didn't have that much content, but with the addition of Time Warner, now gives them a library encompassing Warner Brothers to TBS. So they basically just bought cable, you know, a lot of cable stuff. And nobody watches it. You know, it's a dying thing already. That's why they had to merge, you know, because the service providers or the tech companies, those are the ones that are going to rule this all out. That's it. So it says the combination of these two stories is spooking every video on demand service from YouTube to Netflix. So that's all that's going to be left. You know, no one watches cable TV anymore. It's dying out. You know, live sports was all that was going to save it, and all live sports now is in decline. The weird thing is the thing that is taking up a lot of the space now on places like YouTube is news. So channels just like this, videos like this one, taking up more of a percentage of the YouTube viewership. I read that somewhere. Okay, this showed up in a previous video that I did. I think this might be it. Is this one it? No, that's not it. Okay. So this is this place called Casa Padre. It's a converted... Oh, what is it? It's a converted Walmart down by the border. Now, I had just kind of slipped something in there at the end of a video 2 days ago, I think. I think it was two or 3 days ago. For 2 seconds in the very end of the video, you can see a story that I just kind of flashed up. Because I kind of think that we're going to hear more about this. Okay, I think that this is the strategy. I saw something on Twitter from Trump. Let me see if I go find it real quick. Okay, actually, this is where we're going to end the video. I hadn't been over here in like a day or two, and there's just been a huge amount of tweets, right? Talking about Schneiderman. Here's Schneiderman. Schneiderman, who ran the Clinton campaign in New York, never had the guts to bring this ridiculous case, which lingered in their office for almost 2 years. And this was talking about are doing everything they can to sue me on a foundation that took in $18 million. Phony crime, collusion with Russians, whatever. I've covered Schneiderman. All right. Let me get up here. This guy's just unloading. There's a whole bunch. That's crazy. Look at that. I can't believe he'd retweet that. He's retweeting text messages in the format that you would see them on your phone. This is the modern media, in case you haven't understood that. This is what it's all about. Look, okay, so this is what happened. He baited these people. Remember the mean stuff? The mean looks? He baited them. All those pictures that you saw of people being mean to Trump was fake. Or at least that's what he's telling you. By showing you other pictures of them being friendly. I did think it was weird that he would sit down and allow himself to be put in that position. Because Trump's all about body language, you know? Honestly, the stuff gets to the point where you don't even have to, try, you know, with the body language and the owning your space. You just do or you don't, you know? And the more you do, the less other people can. So I've been on both sides of this equation. I try to let people... I don't like to smother people, and I don't think Trump does either. I think Trump is pretty good about showing authority, though, for the United States of America, which I appreciate. So anyway, that's all I got. Till next time, this is Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.